No one is more powerful than you. And I'm going to ask you why you don't believe that. And the reason you wouldn't believe it is because you haven't discovered who you are yet, or you haven't accepted who you have become. And I can say that because that is a process we all move through. I had a presentation yesterday and it was called The Science of Fulfillment because I discovered that that's what I've created. A my work has become the science of fulfillment that anyone could use to live this really great life, except you probably won't believe that because that's the other thing that happens. We don't believe who we are. And that's because that's this journey that we move on in our lives of self-development, personal development, however you think of it, what I know is ascension. But I said in the presentation yesterday that I had the most valuable thing anyone could want, and I'll say it over and over again, but the difficulty is you won't believe me. Because we all have this cognitive dissonance, because we can be presented something, we say, no, that's not true because we haven't done it. And that was so true for me because I created something that hasn't been done before. And it has been challenging for me to accept that. So I know how you feel. But I'm going to read you a message because I also talked about in the presentation yesterday, which is on my YouTube channel. You can find it. But I was talking about, you know, you can have everything that you want. That's what this work is, the science of fulfillment, and how I received information. Because you have to understand everything is your consciousness. We all have connected to consciousness in different ways. And I happen to connect in a way that caused me to heal everything in my life. That's what I can say. Um, but I'm going to show you because I talked about synchronicity because there's an alignment in the universe, and the way I receive information was on particular dates, and today is one of them. So I'm going to share this particular one, but I have two of them for you, and this will make your day really great when you understand these. And it is this: no one is more powerful than you. And you are no more powerful than anyone else. That is the awareness you are attempting to awaken to, and it is the same one your planet wants to achieve now. The achievement of that goal can only come through you. Power is a state of mind or consciousness, for that is the only place it exists. And the only way you manifest the life you want is to access your power through continually raising your awareness. Every message we have ever given was to that end. Every human comes to the physical plane at a time when it would serve their evolution and that of the world. You are each given something to develop that would allow you to access and utilize your personal power, and it is always contained within your life journey. It will never resemble another, which is why most humans have difficulty accessing and owning their power because they are comparing themselves to others or holding on to old beliefs, judgments, and ideas that will not serve the new world you will manifest. There is no soul on the planet now who is not participating in restructuring your world because you all hold equal power and abilities. Your goal is to access and own yours. So we have given you an ascension guide. You are moving to the highest version of yourself, which will manifest your life experience and transform your world. It will never include any form of judgment, hatred, anger, or war against yourself or others. No human holds more power than another, for you are connected to and part of the source, God, or whatever greater presence you consider to exist. The more you love yourself and remember who you are, the more power you will access and use to manifest the life and world you want. It is a gradual process for you and your world, but you will be fine. So that was that message, but I have another one for you as well. I was speaking to someone yesterday and they said, I'm still comparing myself to everyone else. Why am I doing that? I said, I understand. I did that. That's been my problem. But I created something to move you through that because it's just in your consciousness. But again, they'll just listen to me and say, no, that's not possible. I'm going to keep comparing myself and I'm not going to work through this programming that I've allowed to take over my life that causes me not to feel who I am. Again, I can say that because I've done it. But I have something else for you because it took me back further. And this is what happens for me. I will receive information because this is how we develop our consciousness. And then I have to go back years earlier. And then there's more that's saying we haven't owned who we are yet. That's for each of us. Let me find that one for you. And this message is a little more uncomfortable because it calls me out so much. And that's what I want to do for all of us because when we look at ourselves and understand we haven't taken that next step into who we're meant to become, then that's why we feel the guilt and regret. That's why we suffer in our lives. But you will appreciate this message as well. And again, July 8th of 2020, and the title was just so great. You are a teacher responsible for the condition of your world today. Yes, we mean you. You will love this message, for if you have been following us for any length of time, the trajectory we have taken you on will be unmistakable. We are using the collective you. First of all, we must commend Roger again, for we awakened him at 3 a.m. this morning, and we were quite loud and noisy in doing so. We must do this for him as he does not always want to hear what we have to say, just like you. The manner in which we make awaken Roger was through a video playing on his phone of Dr. Wayne Dyer, who we have mentioned before. Roger still has no conscious awareness of how that happened. The reason we did that was Roger has held an affinity for Wayne quite early on in his initial venture into what he called personal development. Roger felt they had similarities, but he thought he could never live up to that image. That is what each of you has falsely believed about yourselves, and that is why your world is in its current condition. Do you remember how we have continually said there is no hierarchy of souls? That is because it's true. But you thought it could not be true for you. While you might be experiencing a tremendous amount of fear and uncertainty during this time due to your world conditions, Roger is feeling alive more than ever because of them. And now we will explain. Roger's adventures of last night will help. Those of you who know Roger will not make sense of this immediately, but this element of the story will aid you. We mentioned Roger's roommate and the excruciating pain he was experiencing because Roger experienced it as well. Unbeknownst to many, throughout his life, Roger has experienced an excessive amount of physical and emotional pain in his life. He only understands fully now. His roommate was finally able to sleep, so as not to disturb him, Roger decided to eat elsewhere. Roger makes those decisions as he understands what others are feeling due to his history, just as you do. While he was out, we told Roger to send a video to his associate, who was also experiencing some depression and hopelessness, as many of you. Roger knew what his friend was going through, as Roger had done this many times throughout his life. It is clear to Roger why these two people are before him, as he can see their potential and who they will become because he couldn't see it in himself. Roger can now see this in all others, and that it has informed his life purpose. We know this is long, but also important. We have spoken of the program Roger has been creating, which we gave him all the information, but he didn't believe us. Roger kept saying there was more to do, or he had to shoot more videos, or maybe his work was before wasn't good enough. See, you have done that your entire life. A few weeks ago, Roger had the bright idea to send some unedited videos from the past 4 years to his editor in Bangladesh, which Roger loves doing, for he it feels he is helping even more. Last night he decided to revisit a few. New paragraph. As we want you to pay attention. Roger discovered he already had everything he needed, and the only thing he was missing was his belief in himself, just like you. When you decide your life has meaning and value, you will become willing to share it with the world. You will fulfill your role as a teacher, and your world will experience great healing. Now, it will do that regardless, but how quickly will be up to you. So that's why I decided that I had to change, and I had to say, I said yesterday, I'm only taking 5 more people because I have something that's so valuable for anyone, but I haven't finished it because it was really challenging for me to believe that. Marketers told me several years ago, um, probably about 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago now, said, Roger, no one's going to believe this unless you're charging $5,000. And I said, okay, so I have to work up to that. So that's what I'm going to start to do. I just wanted you to have this and to know that there are no limits to what you can achieve, and no one is more powerful than you. You just have to decide that you want to access and own your own power. Have a really great day.
I was really, really blessed to be one of the first wave of people to do the development course with Roger. And it was really eye-opening. I did it at the same time that I was receiving hypnotherapy. I had a couple of really big issues that I wasn't able to overcome. I mean, I'm 47 now, so I was 45 when I first started it. One was an event, and another was a pattern that I kept following time after time after time. I couldn't get through these issues. I went through 3 lots of counseling at different times of my life, NLP, cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, meditation. I just couldn't get past these things. One of them, it was because the event was just really too painful for me to face properly. I never really faced it properly. And the second one, the pattern, was because I just didn't understand why I had this pattern. So the program really helped me to get through that first event and to really face it. With the different exercises that you do, it leads you up to that place. I knew that I was working up to it. And so when it came, it was difficult and it was challenging, but it wasn't as overwhelming as it had been for the whole of my life, like 35 years. So I had 35 years of this massive, massive pain that I just couldn't work through. With the program, I was able to face it, to work through it, and to come to terms with it, to accept what had happened. Not accept it because it was okay, but accept it in a way that was allowed me to move forward and not feel such overwhelming pain. And with time, like everything else, it just becomes easier. So it's still there, but it's not taking over my life anymore. It's not blocking me. So since that, I've been able to build a second business, build my first business as well, help other people even more than I was, because I'm a coach as well. I'm a voice coach. And so I've been able to help other people even more. Then with the pattern, still went through the pattern a couple of times. Anyone who's doing this is bound to be working on doing some other kind of personal development. When you integrate it, it just gives it another edge and a different angle and a different dynamic. And so you have all of these different things to pick from that work for you. It's really about you using what you need at different times. So it was really, really amazing for me. I really can't stress how much.
Every day in the course sort of makes you reflect on yourself, the lessons that Roger sort of learned throughout his life and what he's channeled through his will and what he calls like his spirit, basically. It sort of forces you to do a lot of self-reflection, look at yourself in a different way. And one of the main things that I gained from the program was I thought that my past was all bad. I thought I was having like such a bad experience here. One of the days I remember was going back and rewriting everything that we thought was bad in our past experience and then extracting at least something good out of it. Realize that you can do that with anything. You would sort of have to become and really look at yourself in a new light, which would be more aligned with your more authentic self.
I've just been regularly for the last 10 weeks and the progress is just amazing. Like you can see changes from week to week. You know, Roger always says, when the time is right, it will happen. So you put yourself in that place to allow it to happen. But also the people that coming into Roger's program, the energy of everyone together is greater than the sum of the parts. For example, last week there was a feedback session and myself and another lady was on with Roger, and she's an energy healer. So she and I have made contact now, and she's working with myself and my daughter who's got anorexia. It's also about how Roger is creating a whole network of people who support each other and make the sum of the parts greater than each individual would be by themselves.
Roger helped me a lot with singing, but also with healing my voice. I was having vocal damage. I had a cyst. I couldn't speak. I couldn't coach. I thought my career was going to end. And I was trying all kind of stuff, techniques over the internet, YouTube, whatever. Nothing seemed to work. From the first lesson, I knew that this is going to heal me. My voice really got better. It didn't help me just with my health. It also gave me something that I never thought was possible. Over the years that I've been working, I felt that he was changing my life, changing the way I am. Before, I was kind of angry. I was frustrated, and I didn't realize that. It was just because I was trying to chase my dream, and instead of getting better, I was getting worse. And I felt I was losing everything, and maybe I picked the wrong way. Now I feel that my life is starting over, and everything is better. I mean, every single aspect of my life, my confidence, my income is important, that also, because he gave me something so valuable. That I can share now, and I can change people around here. I can heal other people here.
You really have to be honest with yourself. There's no point doing it if you're not going to go full in. And when I started it, I was like, I'm going to go all in. I jumped in with both feet. If I frame it in terms of building the confidence to face things that I find difficult, to face pain, I've always avoided conflict and to confront things and people. I think it's probably given me the confidence to do that, because some of the exercises that you do really take you through being able to confront things fully. Whereas before I would just kind of go, oh yeah, I'm going to try and work through this problem, and then not really do it, just kind of halfway through the door. Whereas now I'm like, okay, because I've done that, now I know that I can do this.
I really just wanted to better myself, really. I really thought that there was something wrong, to be honest. Like, going through the program, it sort of just reveals to yourself that, we're all human and we all have these thoughts and negative feelings and emotions. It's really just about feeling them through and then coming through out the other end with something positive. Then from that point, you can move on and do better things from there.
I know I was born with this desire to be a singer, but I only had the desire, not the talent. I'm sure that nobody else could help me the way he helped me. Now I'm starting my career, and now I get the chance to be like this. That's all because Roger helped me.
The way that Roger sets the exercises up and the questions that he asks and the things that the exercises that you do, they are really deep. You do have to really question yourself. Anyone who's thinking of doing this, take the opportunity, because I've done so much work and I haven't done anything like this. There hasn't been anything like this. And I think even if I'd been doing the hypnotherapy without this program, I still wouldn't have gone as deep. I still wouldn't have faced those big issues that I'd been facing my whole life.
Just going through the course and doing all the different practices and all that, it's really made me more comfortable putting myself out there and not really being afraid of other people's perspectives of me. It's made me much more comfortable with who I am. It's allowed me to get to know myself a whole lot more. Before the program, I realized how much I didn't really know myself as much, and really just having to reflect and doing this work on yourself just revealed a lot to me.
Yeah. And that's one of the big things that Roger brings to the forefront of your consciousness, is that everything has a purpose, and you need to turn your mindset around that the challenges aren't bad, but they're good to help you get where you need to go.
I was like, I was mid-40s, sick and tired of having the same rubbish going on that I knew I was creating because I wasn't facing what I needed to face. Because there's other things that I want to do.
Definitely, I would say it's increased the confidence that I've had in myself and putting myself out there, and also just being able to do more what I feel is right for myself, instead of just feeling like I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're always in the right place at the right time, really, and we just have to recognize where we are.
There's no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, and it really does seem to. somehow you're in the right place at the right time, and Roger is part of the catalyst for making that happen. He kind of shows that no matter what your age is or where you're at, there's still more you can do.
Thank you so much to Roger. He's been an inspiration for me. I'm so grateful because he's an amazing guy, and he's just so giving. I'm getting emotional. He's just so giving and loving. It rubs off.
I don't think he realizes how much he touches people and the influence that he has on people's lives, and all the little things that accumulate, and you don't even realize the change is happening, and then suddenly you wake up one day and go, oh wow, look where I am now compared with where I was 6 months ago.
Since I started working with Roger, everything changed in my life. Everything, every single thing. I get to get auditions, I get to get clients, everything. The way I am, the way I changed. I always tell him that, Roger, you saved my life. It's not just my voice. He just saved my life.
He's very much someone I admire as a role model. He's made a big difference in my life.
If you've got an opportunity to work with Roger, just take it. Whatever it is, just take it.
Are you ready to transform your life too? Your last development program, Life Transformation for Success, the newest part of Roger Burnley's coaching series. It's the last personal development program you will ever need. Learn more at yourlastdevelopmentprogram.com today.